everyone, I'm Ron Collins. I'm the owner of Blue Lacy SEO in El Paso, Texas. And today we're going to talk about Google is going to bring page experience to Google search. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, an interesting announcement by Google appeared on their blog recently. And this is what Google said. This past May, we announced that page experience signals would be included in Google search ranking. These signals measure how users perceive the experience of interacting with a web page and contribute to our ongoing work to ensure people get the most helpful and enjoyable experiences from the web. They went on to say, today we're announcing that the page experience signals and ranking will roll out in May 2021. The new page experience signals combine core web vitals with our existing search signals, including mobile friendliness, safe browsing, HTTPS security, and intrusive interstitial guidelines. In addition to the timing updates described above, we plan to test a visual indicator that highlights pages and search results that have great page experience. Now, the Core Web Vitals, they were introduced earlier this year, and they're designed to measure how users experience speed, responsiveness, visual stability of a page, and that is included on Google Search Console. Now, a study published in August 2020 shows less than 15% of sites are optimized well enough to pass a Core Web Vitals assessment. And I'm going to talk about what those assessments are a little bit later. So it's interesting to see how Google searchers will respond to these new visual indicators. And that's something that was also announced. And also Google recommends AMP as an easy and cost-effective way to optimize for the web page experience signal. AMP is accelerated mobile pages. It's been pushed hard by Google the last few years as a way to improve page speed in mobile. So it looks like that's still going to be included. Now, before I get to what all these terms mean, it seems like that Google is interested more in the speed and experience the user will get in visiting pages on a website rather than the quality of the content. So let's head over to the WebDev website to see how some websites measure up. So here I'm at the WebDev measure website, and I'll include a link in the description below. So this is what they're talking about with the experience. They're going to be looking at performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO. So I'm going to go put in some web pages, starting with my own, to see how it stacks up. And I'm going to run the audit, and takes a few seconds for it to run and push out the results. And you can do this to your own website. All right, first off, it says performance 34. So here's the scale down here. If you're in the red, 0 to 49, it's not good. Now, I've tested some websites, and none of them performed very well. So there's a lot of work for webmasters, web designers to do before this rolls out in May of 2021. The orange is medium, and then the green is 90 to 100%. And Google has said that for a good score, all of these should be in the green. So this is going to be difficult to do for a lot of websites. So accessibility is 95, best practice is 79, and SEO is 86 for my site. I thought it'd be higher. So here is the performance. And they have all these signals here. First, contentful paint, speed index, and I've got these red triangles, which means it's not good. The only good one I have is cumulative layout shift. So let's go back and look at what some of these are, because this is very technical stuff. First, contentful paint. That's the time when the browser renders the first piece of DOM, which stands for Document Object Model. Doesn't really help us a lot. The DOM content. Now, even with the explanation, it's still kind of iffy about exactly what this is. Speed index. An average of the amount of time it takes for the visible parts of your page to load in a typical browser window. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Largest contentful paint. Measures when the largest content element becomes visible in the viewport. Okay, that makes sense. Could be a large picture, something like that. Media. Time to interactive. A measurement of the time it takes for a page to become interactive for a user. Interactive is defined as the point where the visual elements of the page have been loaded and the page responds to the user interactives immediately. So this means where it's the page becomes interactive when you can start clicking on something, a link or a button. Total blocking time. That's a metric that measures the total amount of time between first contentful paint and time to interactive. Now, I still don't know what that means, but that's the explanation. Then we have cumulative layout shift. Measures visual stability of a page and quantifies how often users experience unexpected layout shifts. You've probably seen this before if you go to websites. They have a lot of visual content, a lot of ads that pop up, and you just start reading something and then the content kind of shifts down or moves or something. That's what they're talking about. Let's go back to the rest of this. So here's the impact, the category, what the audit is, and then guides. So these are high impact. All this has to do with performance and what you need to do it better. And a lot of people may not understand what all these things are. Medium. Again, a lot of people are not going to understand what some of these are. Let's see some more. These are best practices. Serve images with a lower resolution. Links do not have descriptive text. Links are not crawlable. I didn't know that. Low background, foreground colors. Do not have sufficient contrast ratio. Okay, so let's look at another one another website that I manage. It's important to put the HTTPS on it. So this is an M&R tax services that I talked about in some earlier videos. So let's see how that one stacks up. So it looks like Google is going to rely more on this than they have been in the past. Okay, this one, performance is a little bit better, 45. Accessibility, 95. Best practice, 86. SEO, 86. So these numbers are a little bit better. And then you can look at all the impact. And some of these are the same thing as before. Okay, let's switch to another one. Let's go to this is another one that I manage. So let's see how this one does. Doesn't really take too long unless you have a large website. So here's the performance is a little bit lower than the previous one. 32. Accessibility pretty high, 98. Best practice is 79. And the SEO is 100. So that's good. So you have highs and mediums. Only low, one low one. So this gives you an idea of what kind of work that you have to do. Now, these are local websites. Let's look at something that's more of a national website. And I'm going to go over to gsa.gov. This is a government website. So you can see how that stacks up. Now, you think government websites would have everything going very, very well. But look at the performance of this site. A 10. Look at how many seconds it takes. Time to interactive, 25 seconds. That's terrible. Accessibility is 99. Best practices, 64. SEO, 92. But, wow, there's a lot of things they need to fix. And they may not fix all this before next May. So let's look at one more. And we're going to go to the NewYorkTimes.com. Big website. And a lot of these big websites, government sites, commercial sites, their performance is not that great. I've looked at several of them. I have yet to run across one I've tested that was all in the green. I think it's going to be very difficult. And you're probably going to see a lot of webmasters, web designers stripping down their websites to get better performance out of it. So this one only has 15, the New York Times. And their speed index, not good. Time to interactive, not good. Accessibility is 94. Best practice, 86. SEO is 98. So they have a lot of work to do also. So you can go to web.dev/measure to check out your website. We're going to find out in the next few weeks or months how this is going to play out for Google when it launches in May 2021. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and everybody be blessed and safe. We'll see you next time.